Bruce Pardo, a resident of San Fernando Valley, met Sylvia Pardo in 2004. The police suspect that Pardo's violent actions stemmed from marital issues. Their marriage, which began in January of 2006, deteriorated rapidly in the first year. Pardo's refusal to open a joint bank account and his expectation for his wife to solely finance her 3 children contributed to the breakdown. Speculations also arose about Pardo hiding a child from a previous relationship who had suffered a severe accident for which he didn't provide support. In June 2008, a divorce court mandated Pardo to pay $1,785 monthly in spousal support. His discontent with the divorce proceedings was shared with friends, claiming his wife was taking advantage of him. Subsequently, Pardo was dismissed from his job due to fraudulent billing. Financial hardship led to the suspension of support payments by the court. Amidst the divorce settlement, Pardo was obliged to pay his ex-wife $10,000 while she retained the wedding ring and the family dog. He criticized her spending habits to the court, accusing her of luxurious expenses despite living with her parents without paying rent. Their divorce was finalized a week prior to the tragic attack. Around 11:30 p.m. on Christmas Eve, 45-year-old Bruce Jeffrey Pardo, disguised in a Santa suit, arrived at his former in-laws' house during a festive gathering. Armed with multiple 9mm handguns and a gift-wrapped package that concealed a converted air compressor spraying racing fuel, he knocked on the door. Upon the door being answered by his 8-year-old niece, he opened fire with the handguns, injuring her, and continued to shoot at the fleeing party attendees. Following the gunfire, Pardo unveiled the package containing the modified compressor and used it to douse the house in gasoline, setting it ablaze. Tragically, 9 individuals perished due to either gunshot wounds or the inferno, while 3 others sustained injuries. The survivors' identification relied on dental and medical records due to the fire's intensity. After igniting the home, Pardo changed into regular clothes and drove his rented Dodge Caliber to his brother's house in Sylmar, 30 miles away from the crime scene. There, he was found deceased from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. His intentions to flee to Canada was initially presumed, supported by a purchased airline ticket, though it was later revealed that the flight was headed to Illinois, not Canada. Pardo had suffered severe burns from the fire, altering his plans. Police discovered a substantial amount of cash strapped to his legs, remnants of the Santa suit in his car, and empty firearms along with ammunition at the scene. Investigations at Pardo's residence in Montrose uncovered firearm-related items and materials described as a virtual bomb factory. Ronald Gene Simmons was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1940. After his father's passing, his mother remarried and the family moved across central Arkansas due to his stepfather's job transfers. He dropped out of school in 1975 and joined the U.S. Navy, eventually marrying Becky Olabari in 1960 and having 7 children. Following service in the Navy and Air Force, retiring as a master sergeant, Simmons faced allegations of abuse and fled to New Mexico with his family. Settling in Arkansas, he worked various jobs, and by the time of the killings, the family had reduced to 7 members. In the days just before Christmas 1987, Ronald Gene Simmons made the chilling decision to end the lives of his entire family. On December 22nd, he initiated this horrifying act by brutally attacking his wife, Rebecca, and eldest son, Gene, using a crowbar and a .22 caliber pistol. His 3-year-old granddaughter, Barbara, met her tragic end through strangulation. Simmons callously disposed of their bodies in a cesspit that he had coerced his children to dig earlier. Awaiting the return of his other children for the Christmas break, Simmons lured them in by offering presents. Tragically, one by one, he took the lives of his 17-year-old daughter, Loretta, as well as Eddie, Marianne, and Becky through strangulation and drowning in a rain barrel before discarding their remains in the same cesspit. Around noon on December 26, Simmons welcomed more family members under the guise of holiday celebrations. Shockingly, he proceeded to kill his son Billy, Billy's wife, and their 20-month-old son Trey, resorting to shooting, strangling, and drowning. Simmons didn't spare his oldest daughter, Sheila, and her husband, Dennis McNulty, as he coldly ended their lives. He tragically took the lives of Sheila's 7-year-old child, Sylvia Gale, and his 21-month-old grandson, Michael, through suffocation. Simmons arranged the bodies in the living room, covered them with coats except for Sheila, who lay beneath Rebecca Simmons' tablecloth. Trey and Michael's bodies were discovered wrapped in plastic and left in abandoned cars nearby. In a disturbing twist, after these horrifying acts, Simmons went to the local Sears store in Russellville to collect the Christmas gifts he had previously ordered for his family. Later that night, he indulged in a drink at the bar before returning home, spending the ensuing time drinking beer and watching television, displaying an eerie and detached demeanor after such an unspeakable action. On the morning of December 28th, Ronald Gene Simmons embarked on a chilling mission, driving to Walmart in Russellville and acquiring another firearm, intending to carry out a violent attack. His first target was a law firm where he had previously encountered Secretary Kathy Cribbins Kendrick. Simmons, harboring an infatuation for Kendrick despite her rejection, entered the office and fatally shot her. His next destination was an oil company office, aiming to harm the owner, Russell Taylor, who also owned the Sinclair Mini Mart where Simmons had recently resigned. Simmons wounded Taylor and tragically killed another individual, James David Chaffin, who was unknown to Simmons. Continuing his spree, Simmons proceeded to the Sinclair Mini Mart, where he shot and wounded 2 more people. His final destination was the office of Woodland Motor Freight Company, where he fired twice at his former supervisor, injuring her. Subsequently, Simmons coerced an employee at gunpoint to contact the police. Upon their arrival, he surrendered without any resistance, relinquishing his firearm. Throughout this 40-minute rampage, Simmons took the lives of 2 individuals and inflicted injuries upon 4 others. In 1911, Charles Lawson married Fanny Mannering, and together they welcomed 8 children. Their third child, William, born in 1914, tragically passed away due to illness in 1920. 4 years later, in 1918, after his younger brothers, Marion and Elijah, relocated to the Germantown region, Lawson and his family also made the move. Engaging in tenant tobacco farming, the Lawsons managed to accumulate sufficient funds by 1927, enabling them to purchase their own farm situated on Brook Cove Road. In the days leading up to Christmas in 1929, at the age of 43, Charles Lawson took his wife, Fanny, age 37, and their 7 children, Arthur, age 19, Marie, age 17, Carrie, age 12, Mabel, age 7, James, age 4, Raymond, age 2, and Mary Lou, age 4 months, to town for new clothes and a family portrait. Such an outing was uncommon for a working-class rural family during that era, sparking speculation about Lawson's motives, especially considering the tragedy that followed. However, considering Lawson's recent farm purchase and reference to him as a well-to-do farmer by an Associated Press wire, the Christmas shopping spree seemed justifiable. On the fateful afternoon of December 25th, Lawson commenced a horrific sequence of events. He ambushed his daughters, Carrie and Mabel, by the tobacco barn, shooting them with a 12-gauge shotgun, and then sharing their demise by bludgeoning them. Their bodies were concealed within the tobacco barn. Returning to the house, Lawson shot Fanny, who was on the porch, prompting a scream from Marie inside. The 2 younger boys, James and Raymond, sought refuge while Lawson shot Marie, eventually locating and killing the boys. Tragically, he also ended the life of the infant, Mary Lou, presumably through violent means. Lawson then retreated to nearby woods and, several hours later, took his own life with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Among the tragic aftermath, the only surviving child was Arthur, age 19, whom Lawson had sent on an errand just before committing the heinous acts. The bodies of the family were discovered with their arms crossed and rocks positioned beneath their heads. The sound of Lawson's self-inflicted gunshot wound echoed, attracting the attention of the numerous individuals who had gathered upon learning about the dreadful events. A police officer accompanied by Arthur rushed to find Lawson's body and uncovered letters addressed to his parents. Surrounding footprints suggested that Lawson had been pacing around a tree before taking his own life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing by clicking the red subscribe button below. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support means the world to us. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.